right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Single Parents Daily Podcast with your hosts,
Chady, Dunmore,
and DeMarco. So we've been talking to our next guest for a while now, and so stoked to have him on the show. Now, growing up, I think it was every guy's or every little boy's dream to end up doing what this guy did. And now, as we're going to talk to him today, I think it's our dream to do what we all do, and that's be parents. But so excited to welcome to the show Aubrey Huff. We got 2 World Series, Hall of Fame two times voted in the top 25 for the Hall of Fame, Miami Hall of Fame for your alma mater, just a total badass baseball player, and now single father of 2. Did I get all that right?
That's yeah.
You forgot devastatingly fucking handsome. And
I was gonna let her say that. Come on, I gotta leave something for her. Then I just sound weird.
well, listen, I gotta say, Evan, you do have an exceptionally gorgeous co-host there. Well done, well played.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Considering, there's no filters on this.
No laptop.
This is like real.
Yeah.
This is real deal stuff right here.
I mean, I was 3 hours in makeup to do this.
I just, a lot of stuff on social media, you don't know what's real or not.
It's true.
So we can see each other. Everybody's very pretty in this little interview section right now. Everyone's very pretty.
No, this is like an SAT question. Like, pick the one that doesn't belong. Aubrey, Chady, and me. I'm like,
No, shut up. Let's move on. Let's carry on.
All right,
People want to hear.
You've had an interesting life, and I think we've got a safe word on the show. It's cinnamon. So it's, that's our safe word. It's also my safe word and a lot of other things I do, but we don't need to go into that.
Safe word.
But if we cover something that you want us to edit out, just say the safe word.
Okay.
But so I kind of want to jump into this, right? Like 6 years old, your father gets murdered, right?
Uh-huh. Oh
So
yeah, you're going right into the
He's
juicy stuff.
going in for it. God, I was like, wow. I'm going to drink first, or
this is the age of Corona. I'm just, it's like speed dating.
Time
right?
is money. Time is money.
Yeah, no, Evan. So yeah, when I was 6 years old, my father was murdered in Abilene, Texas. He got shot in the back of the head by a crazy lunatic fucking guy. And a lot of people want to know the backstory of that. And he was an electrician at in Abilene, Texas, at a local apartment complex. And he had walked in he was checking out of his job for the day. And he noticed over there at the manager's desk, an altercation going on between a woman and a man. It was getting highly contested. The guy was getting very aggressive. And my dad walked over there because the manager was standing there with my father. Like, I don't know what's going on over there, but that's her husband right now. And he's been there for about 30 minutes just berating her. And he goes, okay, I'll take care of it, my father said. Walks over there, tries to, calmly diffuse the situation. And the guy immediately started talking shit. Like, he was a 21-year-old fucking redneck, this guy. And he just immediately got aggressive with my father, pulled a gun on him, mind your own fucking business. Now, this is the testimony from the manager woman. Pulled a gun on him right towards his head. My dad was like, whoa, 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 trying to chill him out. And the wife right behind the desk started screaming. He points the gun at her, fires, shoots her, kills her. Point blank.
Oh, Jesus.
My dad jumps on the guy immediately. They go on the ground wrestling like a movie. You see the gun slide down the floor. They're both wrestling, fighting. The younger guy was 21. My dad was 30 at the time. He had a little bit of a stronger advantage on him, got to the gun, shot my dad in the hip. My dad started trying to crawl away, started limping towards the to the front door. The killer came right up behind him in cold blood. Boom, shot my dad right in the back of the head, cold blood. But the thing about my father was before he started wrestling with the guy for the gun, he had pushed the manager out of the way behind a desk because he was about to shoot her, saved her life. So when I look back at that, he actually saved a woman's life. And it's very, very crazy. This day in social media where people can connect with each other so easily now. I got a email from my podcast email site from a lady that said, thank you so much for your father. This was literally 2 weeks ago. For what your father did all those years ago. I am the granddaughter of this lady that he saved. And I'm like, holy shit. And so we got in contact and I had a tear to my eye just thinking about all that. And So I'm very proud of what he did. And it was tough, as a young man growing up without a father, Evan, and as this is a single parent podcast. And my mom did everything she could to raise my sister and me on a Winn-Dixie salary. And so, yeah, I have a very, very, very soft spot for single parents.
That is I have chills.
Yeah. I was like, is that the air conditioning or?
No, that's an amazing story.
Dude, that's intense.
And you are a believer.
Yeah. Yeah. If you see right here, I believe in Jesus, and I believe Jesus was a badass. Right. And I don't think, he's got a little gun here in the background. If you guys can see that Jesus carrying it.
Oh, that what it is? I thought he was holding a samurai sword.
No, Jesus holding. No, but yeah, I feel like, I know this isn't topical, but I feel like the society we live in today, Jesus is being considered as a softie, where he was far from it. He was whipping money changers out of the temple. He's kind of a badass. I mean, what guy goes into the desert 40 days and 40 nights, no food, no water? That guy, he was a badass. He wasn't the soft, sit on my lap child telling a story. And I think that's what's turning a lot of alpha males and men away from the church today. I feel like the church is feminizing Jesus. And I think that's why we have a great falling away in faith as far as Jesus is concerned.
That's amazing. I'm a believer myself, so I think that's a powerful testament for someone who is in an alpha male position like yourself. So that's awesome to hear. Tell me about what's like being like a single dad right now. The fact that you are retired and, professional athlete, and now like and I don't even want to bring up the pandemic right now, but like, what is like life like for you right now?
It hasn't changed much for me, because since I've retired from Major League Baseball, I haven't done, I haven't had a real job, which I don't need and I don't want. And I love this podcasting entity. It's great. I've been working from home. And so nothing's really changed for me. The fact that my kids aren't going to school, that's the only difference. And it's interesting you asked that question, because I literally, right before I came on this podcast, was reading an article where Megan Edmonds, ex-wife of Jim Edmonds, baseball player, had this huge article that she is overwhelmed with 3 kids, staying home, doing the work, and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, she sounded so like the kids were a hard work, right? And it's a job. Meanwhile, for me, as a single father, I don't look at it as a job. I look at it as a pleasure, because I came from that world with a single mother, and I absolutely know how hard it was for her. And she did it with never complained, never made an excuse that she didn't have somebody else in her life to help out. And I'm not going to use my kids as an excuse to be miserable. It's not, to me, being a parent, it's not miserable. It's fucking amazing. And I love it. We have so much fun together. And I'm going to be honest with you, for all your parents out there that are homeschooling your kids right now, they got a free fucking pass this year. They're going to go to the next grade. So who really gives a shit?
No.
Right?
Yeah. Imagine
everybody gets a blue ribbon this year.
Right.
Imagine being a bad kid this year and you're just like,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day,
I kind of wish this would have been like my sophomore year of high school. Outside of the baseball season, like I could have skipped that year and been just completely happy.
Did you play baseball too?
I actually AAA pitcher. Like I said, had dreams of going to the show, but alas, I wasn't good enough, and I tore my shoulder. So there's nothing I can do about that.
Oh, you were a lefty too. You pointed your left shoulder. You were a lefty pitcher?
No, here's the fucked up part about this, right? So off-season training, and the trainer decides to give us like the canvas wraps. These were, this was back in like the mid 90s when those things became popular. So I was doing incline dumbbell flies with too much weight, and shoulder came out of the socket, attached to the weight, dropped to the ground, and just ripped the rotator cuff and bicep tendon with it. So I'm a right-handed pitcher, but every follow through, the thing would just come out of the socket. So finally, I'm like, line drive back up the middle. I'm like, so I'm like, coach is like, you're done. So, had it scoped, had it repaired, and then, my days were over. I was never going to go anyway. I had a wild fastball and a decent changeup, and that was all I could throw.
Yeah.
So,
well, you look like a middle infielder anyway.
What's that?
You look like a middle infielder anyway.
I've
quick and fast.
Yeah, well, I was 94, fastball. I had some decent velocity.
Dang.
But I was angry. That's the thing. It was pure rage. It was like, it's kind of like watching Randy Johnson throw, except, a lot shorter. It's just like all kinetic rage.
Rage, talk to me about that.
Well, this
Come
is
on,
about
Chady, you know, you're Puerto Rican, New
Puerto
York.
Rican. You're just
Yeah, come on, you know about rage.
I'm like, I'm just digging.
This is the joke. It's like, you know, a Puerto Rican, a redneck, and an Italian.
Oh my gosh, this is true. Okay.
Okay, so what's your parenting? What's your parenting plan like, Aubrey? Like, how often do you have your kids?
So me and my ex, we have split custody. It's 50-50. And you know, when I have them, especially now during this quarantine time, you know, shit, man, I'm not going to bullshit you. We stay up late. We'll stay up till 11, 12. We'll watch movies. We'll have popcorn. We'll hang out and just have a good time. You know, I'm not a Gestapo. I try to be I got some pretty strict rules with technology because you can let these kids go kind of haywire with the technology right now, especially. They can have, as long as they get their work done during the day. And I don't care if it's throughout the day. It doesn't have to be one sitting and get it done. Like, go. We have fun. We take breaks. We enjoy it. As long as it's done by 6, we have dinner, and then you have free time, video games, TV, whatever you want to do. And I have a rule with these iPads. And I think a lot of people get a lot of good feedback. Parents especially say that, man, that's some of the best shit I've ever heard. I'm going to start using that with my kids. So I charge my iPad for each of my boys every Sunday. And, you know, typically an iPad will last 4 hours. I said, listen, you can use that iPad for the next 4 hours until it dies, or you can space it out throughout the week. You get 4 hours on an iPad throughout the week, and it teaches them to kind of learn to value their time. So if it's done in the first day, that iPad goes in the fucking drawer and we charge it on Sunday again. So it kind of gives them that, you know, it forces them to manage their time, and it teaches them, you know, responsibility with it.
That's genius.
That is smart.
Okay, dude, would you write an article for us on that one?
I've never been called genius, Evan. So thank you. That's real.
I think that's brilliant.
My daughter comes over and she's like, can I have the iPad? And the problem is that we're working, right? So there's always something going on. And so that's my guilt, you know, saying, yeah, here's the iPad. But I'd love for her to start to understand the value of time and rationing that time as you know, the opportunity cost of, well, if I do it all today, I don't get it tomorrow or the next day. It's genius.
You know what I did when I was my daughter? I have a 13-year-old, soon to be 14-year-old in June. And when she was younger, the only time she would ever use an iPad, or I would let her have the iPad, is when I would go and have like restaurant time, or because I'm a single mom, restaurant time, or anything that I needed to get shit done. And so I needed her to like solely just focus, because she would that was like the best babysitter.
And it's a good babysitter, but it's, you know, we're rotting kids' brains.
But now it's like she's 13, she's going into high school this coming year, and I'm scared for my life because everything is like TikTok, and oh my goodness. She's a good girl, but you know, it's hard to get them away.
And the boys have got to be really, that's what you got to worry about. I'm glad I have boys, because I don't have to worry about girls growing up in high school. Oh my gosh. I would be that dad with a shotgun rocking chair. Have you seen Bad Boys, right? When they go to the door, yeah. Will Smith. Yeah. What you looking at me? I'm just coming up with a 40 and just talking shit. That would be who I would be.
So I have a great question now that you're saying that. As a dad to a single dad to 2 boys, and from what you've experienced through with your mom and being, you know, professional athlete and having access to, I'm sure, tons of beautiful women, and now being a single dad, what are you teaching to your boys? And what is like that rule and, you know, kind of a mantra to like respecting women? Because I know you respect your mom as a single mom, like holding it down and as what she did.
Yeah, that's a great question. I get a lot of brushback on Twitter because for some posts I make that are so-called anti-woman. It's not. I'm just being funny. It's my humor. It's a sick sense of humor. It goes dark sometimes. But I absolutely, as a mother growing, I respect women, especially women that are self-efficient, that they're not just waiting for a guy to take care of them. They actually have their own career and their own dreams and desires. There's so many women out there that are just, you know, the way the system is today with marriage and everything, it's a scary thing for a man that's got, you know, a high value man with money. Yeah. Because I think for a lot of women, it's a business. They just want to be taken care of. But for women out there that actually respect themselves, want to have a career, I love women like that. The radical feminists eat a bowl of dick, you know, I can't stand those women. But yeah, so it's interesting. You asked about my kids, you know, they're 11 and 9. And I never got the talk when I, obviously with my mom, I had to figure out how to be a man and navigate dating all on my own. And there wasn't a lot of technology back in the day. So I basically learned how to be a man through baseball. That's not easy,
Yeah.
you know, because there's a lot of macho misogynist bullshit that goes on in the clubhouse. And, you know, there can be, if you let it, can be a way that you would definitely mistreat women. But, you know, my boys, like I said, they're 11 and 9, and my 11-year-old now, he's already asking about girls. And I'm like, you know what? He wanted to have the talk. This was about 3 or 4 months ago. We had the talk one morning, you know, at 11 years old. Because listen, in schools now, they're absolutely, they're already teaching our kids.
I know.
These sex education classes that, you know, and things of that nature. And not only are they teaching them sex ed, but they're teaching them also, you know, like 64 other different genders, which is fucking stupid. You're either a man or a woman to me.
Yep.
Now you're confusing kids. You're trying to sexually confuse them. So I want my boys to know at a young age what it really is to be a man. You are a man. You're not a woman, you know? And I feel like so many kids now are getting duped younger now because, and maybe they may want to be transgender or try that lifestyle because they're being educated that in schools. And kids are very impressionable at that age. And it's fucking pissing me off. I can't stand what's happening to our kids in schools today.
Do you ever go to like a restaurant, you know, with your kids and you're like, okay, you know, you've got choice A or choice B, and they make the choice. Or if you're like, well, you've got 74 things to choose from, they go into like sensory overload and they're like, I don't know what to fucking do.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, I mean, like, you know, this whole gender fluidity, it's a great conversation, right? And maybe this is a follow-up podcast, but yeah, we're just overstimulating these guys with choices where it's like, no, it's okay. You know, if you've got a predisposition towards something else, you know, run with that, you know, later on, but you're a man or you're a woman. It's like the plumbing is pretty set.
When I grew up in a Latin household, my dad catered me as the princess, and the boys do the boy jobs, the girl does the women's stuff, meaning I stay in the house with my mom, we do the cooking and cleaning, and then the guys wash the cars, put the gas in the car, fix all that stuff. I grew up and I love my parents and I love my dad, but I feel like there were things that I wish my dad would have taught me to be more independent now, where I didn't rely on a male figure to supply something or be a financial breadwinner in the house, or because I feel like I sucked at relationships because that's what I thought that was appropriate. And so it put me in a shitty position back to now I know the right thing. So what would you teach your boys not having a dad in your life and being a dad figure that you wish you would have learned?
Well, I think, you know, a lot of society is fucked up now as far as how you're teaching men to be women and women to be men. It seems like the gender is being reversed now, where women empowerment, which I'm all for, you go out there and grind out and do your thing. But men are wired to be protectors and providers. They're not meant to stay home and watch the kids, right? And I truly believe, like in marriage, the way it was back in the 20s when my grandparents, who made it 67 years, you hardly ever heard of divorce. But there was identified roles then. Men were supposed to be men. They'd go make the bacon. And the women were perfectly happy staying home, raising the kids and being a nurturing figure. That's I think, inherently what's in our DNA. And I think you're finding so many divorce rates now because the roles are reversed. Women are going out there and providing, and men are staying home doing the laundry and the dishes. And I got to tell you, when I first retired from Major League Baseball, my ex, God bless her, she watched the kids while I played, did the whole thing. Now I told myself, I am going to be the man. You go live your dreams now, honey. Go work. I'll stay home and do all the kid stuff. By the second year, I was full on anxiety ridden, depressed. I felt like a fucking caged lion. I was folding laundry every day, taking the kids to school, picking them up, going food shopping, cooking, the whole deal. I was basically the house mom. And that's not how I was wired. And I was feeling so empty and unfulfilled. And I think she felt that. And she became the man. I became the woman in the relationship. And it dwindled. She didn't want to fuck me no more. I felt, I wasn't even turned on anymore. Because I didn't feel confident. I was emasculated. And so I would tell my boys now, don't ever fucking lose your masculine edge. And it's not to demean women, and don't let them go out there and do their thing. But even if your woman or that you're dating is uber successful, you still have to have that sense of leadership, not a machoism, but you have to, a woman wants to be led and provided for. When I take girls out on dates, you won't believe the amount of girls that'll tell me, oh my gosh, Aubrey, that was amazing. I'm like, what? That you actually planned a date, told me when you're gonna pick me up, opened my door. We went to a restaurant without you even asking me where I wanted to go. I'm like, yeah, all I wanted you to do is show up and be pretty, and I'll take care of the rest. Right? And they're like, ooh, and they love that. And most guys don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I think the death of all relationships it's that conversation of like, what do you want to do tonight, hon? I don't know. What do you want to do? And like, when that happens, it's like, women
hate that. They fucking hate. Do they not?
No.
Chady, do they not? Don't you hate when a man does that?
I have mixed emotions about that
Clearly.
because I personally like I like that, but I also like to take charge sometimes, and I like to delegate the date.
Okay.
But what you just said, I think it has to do more than demasculating someone or defeminizing someone. It has to do with what works for both of you guys. Because for me, I like to be taken care of, but I also like having my own identity. Meaning, I don't need to have a full-time job and be away from the kids because I really enjoy being home with my daughter. I love picking her up. I love cooking for her. I love cooking for him. I love doing the whole dog stuff and doing all that stuff. But I also like having my side gig because, and I don't know if it's something that has to do with my narcissistic past relationships, but I like knowing that I have safety. Meaning, I don't want to teach my daughter that to always rely on a man or somebody to provide, because the rug could be pulled underneath you, whether they get sick, they're cheating on you, or you need to support your family. So, and I want to support my significant other if something happens to his job or he couldn't provide. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. Got the guy's quiet, guys.
Yeah, well, I can see why you're single. Anyway,
I'm not single though.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'm just fucking with you.
Why did this just reminds me of a joke I heard.
So I want to hear his thoughts on that.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that too?
Why did the woman cross the road?
Oh shit! Here you go.
Doesn't matter. What was she doing out of the kitchen anyway?
This guy, you are.
We're gonna get hate enough of it. No,
you're not. People are gonna laugh because they know I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, and they know.
I want to hear Aubrey's opinion.
They know that I'm not serious about that. But again, I kind of agree with Aubrey on this one. It's
Tell me. I want to hear your opinion.
Well, yeah. As a guy who's been divorced, I obviously went out there, and since I was 6 years old, I want to be a Major League Baseball player. Blood, sweat, and tears, and grinding my ass off forever, finally getting there, and taking 13 years of just constantly getting my body pounded, getting my ass worn out by media and fans alike. I've already had a hip surgery at 40. I've gone through the fucking anxiety and depression. The getting out of the game was such a hard transition.
Yeah.
The 2-0 sliders that keep you up at night, the offers, just the absolute pressure that comes with the game. And you think back to all that grind that you did and the money you made and all that effort. And then you get married. And then I feel like if you're married today, especially we talked about the society, the way it is today, it's so easy to give up on a marriage. Yeah. Right. And to know that you can go into a divorce and lose half your shit with all that people have gone through, whether it be a man or a woman, there's something wrong with the system. And I don't blame the other person for taking what the system's giving them. I blame the system. And I'm at war at that because I feel like that's a big time thing of why so many people are single parents today and there's so many divorces are high is because it's a business, like I said before, and it's so easy to leave, take the money, be an instant millionaire, and not have to deal with fixing or working on your problems as a couple. And I agree. And I also blame, now listen, there's blame to go around whether it's the woman or the man, but I also blame this bullshit motivational speaking bullshit. If you're not happy in your relationship, leave and go find something better. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? The grass isn't always better on the other side either, right? So I feel like, Yeah, I feel like motivational speakers today are fucking up people's minds too. Like, it's not worth fighting for your marriage. There's always something better, and you deserve better, and go get it. I understand if you're getting abused physically, but if you're fighting in general, my grandparents tell me that they used to fight all the time, but they worked on shit, right? Today, it's so easy to just walk the fuck away. And so I just believe it's a society we live in, and the society has created weak young people and weak couples, weak marriages.
So here's an interesting question then, Aubrey. Do you still believe in marriage?
I believe in marriage the way it used to be. I don't believe in marriage now. I will never do it again.
Oh.
Never. I've told people this all the time, like, oh, bullshit. Wait till the right woman comes along. You'll change your tune. I'm like, no, I won't. Here's the deal. I will tell you what. I will have a partner in life. I will be absolutely faithful to that partner. But as far as marriage goes, within the first like few dates I have with a girl, if that comes up, I'm straight up honest. Won't happen. And then it's boom, they're gone. They won't have any of it. I'm like, too bad, you know? Yeah. So it's just, at the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper, you know?
So you mentioned earlier that how motivational speakers are just how they're categorizing relationships in general. What was if you don't mind sharing, what was the deal breaker for you in your last marriage? Because it seems like you wanted to make it work, but it didn't.
My deal breaker for ending my marriage was basically we were at ends a lot at fighting. And I'm a very sexual guy, right? You hear this lie, Evan, right? When you get married, sex is going to get better and better and better. That's what you're told. That's bullshit, right? You don't get more sex when you're married. You get more before. Then that ring goes on and it kind of goes, and I get it. You get kids and, you know, get familiar with each other. And there's a certain amount of that probably would go down. But when you get to the point where as a man and where I was, as I told you before, I felt like when I retired from baseball, I was fighting my identity. I felt very emasculated, and it wasn't from her and it was from my doing, sitting home, doing the laundry and all of that stuff. I felt like her attraction to me was gone. And I didn't even feel like having sex because I feel like a woman. I didn't feel attracted to myself. I wasn't confident in myself. And so I felt that was like kind of our downfall. And when it got to the point where we weren't having sex anymore, and when we did, I had to beg for it. And it was almost like the point where, just get it over with, lock up when you're done, big guy. I'm like, well, what the fuck's the point? You know, for men, especially, I know for women, it's different. You guys want an emotional connection. For men, marriage is all about sex.
My love language is touch, number one, and then quality time.
What was that from City Slickers?
But everybody's different, and I think it changes. It's changed with me. Different love languages. But
well, for me, it's like interesting. You guys have heard of Ron White, the famous comedian. Guy gets up there, cigar, whiskey, and he goes, talking about being married and guys cheating. He goes, I'm a pretty good dog, but if you don't go pet me every so often, I'm going to run off that porch. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel like's happening too. You got a lot of guys out there cheating, a lot of women out there cheating. And I think it's just a lack of passion at home, mixing it up, having some fun, role playing, doing some kinky shit every now and then. I think that's why a lot of people cheat. You don't keep it fresh.
Yeah. So that brings up an interesting sales opportunity. Today's show is sponsored by the Single Parent Daily Butt Plug. You can now purchase it. Comes in.
I'm shaking my head, guys.
Hey, can you send me one of those?
Oh, yeah. We'll send you all 3 sizes.
Yeah.
Medium, and does this come in white?
Oh, boy.
That I'm going to get hate mail on. But this is the new Single Parent Daily, right? Like we're calling it like it is. You talk about sex in a relationship, marriage. I remember my wedding day, my ex-father-in-law pulls me aside, and I'm expecting some emotional kind of speech. He's like, here's the deal with marriage. He's like, when you first get married, it's like, and this is him. This is a guy who doesn't cuss at all. He's like, you fuck everywhere. He's like, then a couple of years go by, and it's like, then you're just fucking in the bed on, like Saturday night. He goes, then a couple of years goes by, and then the only thing that you hear is like walking down the hall, be like, fuck you, fuck you. I'm like, this is my father-in-law, or soon to be my father-in-law. I'm like, I don't even know how to respond to this. Like, thanks, Dad. But yeah, it's there is this thing. Now, the other issue that we find out is it's so easy for people to become disenfranchised sexually with the relationship, right? It's like you pull out your phone and swipe left, swipe right. There's a constant stream of people who are willing to validate men, women, whatever. It's make you feel masculine, make you feel feminine, make you feel those things that you're missing in your marriage that you're not able to work on or you're not choosing to work on. And that is one of the big downfalls, right? It's like, I think, if I were to I'm never going to get married again, but I'm like, we should all go back to flip phones. Like take that thing out of the equation, right?
I think if you honestly, you either A, fix the marriage system where the breadwinner doesn't get fucked in the end, or A, you just get rid of marriage altogether. Why? Because obviously it's not working. I think there was a study done where, obviously I think around first marriages, half of them fail. Your second marriage, I believe it's around 70% of them fail. And your third one, it's up into the 90s. At what point do you realize you're just not made for it? Right? Yeah. Like for me, when I see those numbers, I'm not going to jump into another marriage, no prenup, and have a 70% chance of losing half of my money, right? I was fortunate enough in my past marriage. I had a prenuptial agreement.
Yeah.
And it was ironclad. So it's very easy. My ex and I are very civil today because of that. But I feel like as a parent, it's so important if you do, unfortunately, have to go through that divorce machine to try and remain civil as much as you possibly can for your children's sake. Because you don't want to see that. I see that all the time at football fields. Parents, kids are playing flag football, and me and my ex are sitting there talking. And our kids see us together, which is a healthy thing. But then you see on the other end of the spectrum, a father of another kid on the one end of the end zone and the mother on the other in the end zone. After the game, the kid goes, hugs the dad, goes all the way there and hugs the mom. They don't even talk to each other. That's not healthy for the child either. So even if you have to fake it in front of your children, please do so for the kids' sake. That's my advice.
No, great advice, right? When we talk about that, it's like, it's okay to get divorced, right? We can talk about the system being broken. We can talk about marriage being broken, but you're going to be with that person forever. So what are we modeling for our kids? It's like, we need to be modeling that we can still maintain adult relationships with people, that you can have a civil relationship even though you're not married, that maybe you don't even like the person, but it's like, yeah, like this is how we adult.
Well,
so you guys both are seem very similar when it comes to hell no to marriage again. And what would you guys like? I'm sure you guys are dating. Have you guys dated within the last marriage? And would you ever move in with someone? Because it seems like after a couple of years, the whole dynamic and chemistry is off.
My philosophy on this one is the lease.
What do you mean the lease?
The lease. Like you meet someone, you go through the dating process, you meet someone, I'm like, I really like you. I like seeing you naked. We have fun together. Like, let's do a 3-year lease. We're gonna go out for 3 years. But here's the thing, right? In business, we always talk about goals. We always talk about objectives. Relationships become complacent. And it's like, oh, we like each other, and now we're just going to figure out what we're going to watch on Netflix. It's like, why not have relationship goals over the next year, 2 years, 3 years? We want to accomplish this together. We want to travel. We want to do X, Y, Z. And so the relationship is held accountable for what both people want in it.
Yes.
And then at the end of the 3 years, like, well, yeah, I'm up for another 3 years, or no, it's time to move on. But I mean, the big problem with, I think, relationships right now is that people do become complacent. It's the idea of like settling. I want to settle down. I just want to binge watch Netflix. It's like, have goals in the relationship so there's something to measure the success by.
I want to hear his opinion.
Yeah, so
I know he likes the whole like commit, but he just doesn't want to like.
Well, listen, the way I look at it is I got out of my 11-year marriage, right? And I had known her for 16 years. The last thing I wanted to do was get right into a relationship and get serious with somebody. So I got divorced around 3 years ago. I'm still in that phase where I'm just dating and trying to have fun. Obviously, this COVID-19 bullshit's really fucked up my sex life. But
Your arms are looking really pumped there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm trying. But as for me, right? Like I feel like, I again, like I said, I got out pretty scot-free in the marriage. I maintained most of my wealth, and I got a pretty cool background with baseball. It's not hard for me to get dates, right? So I feel like for me, it'd be really stupid for me right now because I'm not ready to like settle down and commit to do that. However, having said that, since all this COVID-19's, happened, and I've had time to kind of reevaluate the last 3 years, there's times where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, as much fun as this is, it's still very empty.
Mhm.
So there's parts of me now where I feel like I'm getting out of that phase right now, and I would love to have somebody to commit to. Now, I will say, as conservative as I am and gun-toting pro-Trump as I am here in Southern California, it's very hard to find a woman that has that kind of, I guess, those values and beliefs I do, to really settle down with. So, because, there's been girls that I was like, wait, she's really cool. And I would see myself like settling down with this one, but her political ideologies and her beliefs aren't lining up with mine. I knew it wouldn't last, so nothing ever transpired. So that's another thing. I believe, they say opposites attract. I find that bullshit. I think you got to have the same type of beliefs and stuff to maintain a healthy relationship.
For sure. How would you feel if your boys wanted to get married?
Well, I've told them, I said, absolutely. I think everybody, deserves a shot at marriage if that's what makes them happy. Again, I don't know what the state of marriage will be like when they get old enough to marry. It could be a completely different thing now.
It's a virtual marriage.
Right. I don't know. There's sex robots and all kinds of shit out there now. Who knows what they're going to be into? Yeah. So I've definitely already had this conversation with them. I said, listen, I'm not anti-woman, guys. I love women and I want you to love women. I respect women. I want you to respect women. But there has to be a time where you got to realize you're the prize as well. You're the man, and a woman loves a confident man. Yes. Don't put the pussy on a pedestal. I didn't say that word, but I said, don't put a woman on a pedestal, because a woman doesn't like to be worshiped in that way. They want to be felt like they're loved and nurtured and all these things, but they still want a confident man at the end of the day. So if you want to get married, do so, but please, for whatever you do, for the love of God, get a prenuptial agreement and make it so ironclad that whenever we go colonize Mars, that's even in their prenup, that if we go to Mars, we're even get divorced on Mars, then that's still, we're going to have, because there's so many ways out of these prenups now. So you got to make sure these things are ironclad.
Yeah.
Have you, so in your post-divorce dating, have you been in any kind of relationship long enough that you've introduced a woman to your kids?
No, not yet. And I've had that,
3 years. That's very new.
Yeah. So I was kind of serious with the girl for about 4 months, and
you're talking about 3-year lease. He's like considering, he would potentially consider someone.
I'm a very, very independent guy, right? I need my space. I need my personal time. And so it's the right woman comes along. Absolutely. I would love to have that commitment, but I still, even when I have that, gotta have me time.
Yeah, I think that's healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's been girls I've dated, they're clingy as fuck.
Yeah,
there's
guys that are clingy AF too.
Right, you get like 15, 20 text messages a day, they send these videos, and then that's another thing. Send me a dick pic. What? I'm not sending you a fucking dick pic. That's the world we're living in today. I'm like, I'm a 43-year-old father of 2. And I have a fucking celebrity penis. I'm not going to send you a fucking dick pic where if God forbid it doesn't work out, that's everywhere. And gosh, it's so ridiculous. And, I'll get when I'm dating a girl within the first date or two, I get like naked, completely full naked sex shots. I'm like, whoa. I mean, not that I'm pissed off about it, but all level of respect or any type of commitment at that point was, yeah, you're like, I would never be serious with you because God knows who else you're doing this with.
Yeah. It's like, I'll have fun with you, but you think I'm ever going to introduce you to my kids? Hell no.
Right. For sure. So yeah, I have like this little golden rule though. If it's 6 months into a relationship and I feel like it's going to go somewhere, sure, I'll introduce her to my kids. But that just hasn't happened.
Yeah. I like it.
At what point in a relationship do you send them a dick pic though? I
think the only way I would ever send a dick pic to a chick is if we were married, right? Yeah. If we're married, that's okay. You're sexting to your wife. That's hot. That's kind of sexy. But I would never, ever, ever send one to a woman I'm dating.
Here's my dick.
Yeah, could you imagine I'm dating a girl, I send her a dick pic, right? And I got all this fucking shit on there, me jerking off or whatever, and all of a sudden we get divorced, or not divorced, we break up and it's bad. She's got all that information. Hey, you pay me $50,000. I'm sending this to the New York Times and something. I'm like, oh, fuck no.
You
gonna
need to
happen.
make sure you're talking to your boys about stuff like that too.
Oh,
Then.
1000%. I'm a
Because you don't
very
need to be a
honest.
celebrity to like get blackmail. There's tons of people who do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, you know, like, what do you do if someone says that? I'm like, fine, it's a penis. Put it on the New York Times. Like, ESPN would love to see this.
Well, and not only that, how do you even know if it's his, right? Like
Yeah.
a lot of dicks look
Yeah,
the
sure.
same. You know, dicks are pretty, unless you got a hooded wagon, they're all pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
Would you have more kids?
No, I am
Not
circus.
planned or planned?
No, I got a vasectomy after my second one.
Okay.
So, yeah, my ex and I wanted 2 boys,
Mm-hmm.
and we got that. And I'm like, fuck that, I'm good. They're 11 and 9 now. They're so independent and self-sustaining. I love my kids, but I would never want to go back and do that 0 to 5 years old bullshit again.
Yeah, yeah.
It's wrong.
Car seats.
Would you date a single mom then?
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. I feel like that's probably what I'm going to have to end up doing anyway, because there's a lot more in common that way.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the whole single young girl with no kids. It's, you know, in the 20 to 25 up to 30. And the wavelengths, the brainwave, it's just not there. It's a whole different generation, right? And
It's a physical relationship.
right. That's absolutely right. And you know, I feel like you're around, you know, the 30 to 35-year-olds with no kids, or a kid, whatever. It doesn't matter. I got 2 boys. I can't say no. You got kids,
Yeah.
you're out. You know, it's kind of stupid. But the kids got to be cool. You know, if their kids are little shitheads, and I'm like, ooh, you know, it'd be kind of scary.
Yeah. Well, you gotta be careful.
Do you want to
with
get
that.
married again?
I would get married again. Yeah.
What about kids? Want more?
No.
Huh?
I want his kids.
Gotcha.
So you
Yeah.
said your kids are 13 and 11. You said.
I have a 13-year-old daughter that's going to be 14, so basically 14. And then my boyfriend has a 7 and a 9-year-old. I love kids, but I don't want to be pregnant again. I actually I was a high risk with all my health issues, so I wouldn't want to go through that again. And I'm 40 already, so I don't need to jeopardize my health even more. But I would adopt, and I would love to help raise another child because I love kids. I do.
So my gosh, you're 40. So that's another thing, right? Like a lot of women, I think, as they get older, they wonder why they can't get a guy, and they're always like begging for guys. Listen, look at you. You keep yourself in fucking great shape. I think even men too. Listen good, because as you get older and you're single, you're going to stay single unless you get yourself together. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the bit. Evan, you're in great shape. I feel like I'm in great shape. And, you know, take the fucking bull by the horns, get your ass in the gym. And if you're fucking don't like your situation, lay off the booze, lay off the McDonald's, get in the gym and get your ass going, because there's nothing sexier than a person that takes care of themselves.
I agree. I think that for me, it has nothing to do with physical. Like, I don't have to have someone who is like, has 6-pack, but I'm attracted to someone who has their shit together. Right. And because I have my shit together, and I definitely need someone who is physically active, who has their own career that's outside of my career. Cause I don't want to like share like the same type of stories or like, you know, I want to like be able to like have a sit down conversation and be like, what did you do today? But yeah, I feel like you have to have your own identity. You have to have your own shit, and you have to take care of your shit.
Well, that's the thing. If you see somebody walking down the street, generally when you see a fat person walking down the street, by most often or not, they don't feel good about themselves inside. You know, by the way people look, is pretty much almost universally accepted that that's how they feel on the inside. If you have somebody walking around that's in great shape, their chest is out, their head's up, you know that person has great confidence and they're a happy person. It's not to knock fat people at all, but I want to see these people, because I was at a point when I was even in my marriage, I was 40 pounds overweight. I got out of baseball, let myself go, and I felt like shit. And that's, I truly believe, why I started getting depression and anxiety, because I didn't like who I was. I was out of shape. I was drinking way too much, eating like shit, and letting myself go. And I started getting all these issues. So when I say fat people, I don't mean to be mean, but I want to see these people happy and the way I've been able to turn the corner. So in a way, I'm trying to motivate and not bring down, because there's a lot of that fat shaming going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and look, we don't want to fat shame, but there's also, I think, this politically correct society where it's like, oh, well, we can't fat shame. And, it's like, fat is the new healthy. I'm like, no, bullshit, it's not. Like, if you look at the stats on it, the mortality charts, the actuarial statistics, it's like if your BMI is over a certain amount, and we can debate the merits of the BMI, scale later on, but it's like, you're at a higher risk for death. You're at a higher risk for cardiovascular disease. When we look at these things, it's the economic, the emotional, and the physical toll of being overweight has a clear, health ramification. So fat is not healthy. It's not, being overweight is not healthy. And I think that we should stop trying to embrace this as like, oh, that's a body image that, everybody should be happy with. Like, no, it's like, you might have some genetic, issues that make it impossible for you to look like a cover model. But that doesn't mean that, you can't be in the gym, working out, taking pride in your body. And I agree with you 100%.
Well, that's what pisses me off, Evan. It's like this whole societal media driven bullshit, big is beautiful, and that it's okay to be out of shape. And if that's your thing, if that's what you want to be, go for it. But don't try and let people say that being big is beautiful and it's perfectly healthy. It's been scientifically proven that it's not. And what pissed me off is this Adele came out recently, lost tons of weight, looks amazing. Yeah. And a lot of media outlets and people were crushing her. It's like, oh, were you not proud of who you were? Did you not like being fat? And they were instantly like fat shaming her for losing weight. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Skinny shaming.
So from someone who used to weigh over 200 pounds and who's gone through that scale up and down, and someone who struggles with a lot of health issues, health comes in all different shapes or sizes, no matter what. So there's people who are a lot heavier than me and they're in better health than me. I just think that when it comes down to it, you have to take care of yourself. And when people don't make their health and their physique, meaning, and it has to do so much more than the vanity part, you have to, this is your card to get from destination to destination. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're gonna have so many more issues. And that's when I get upset, is when, in the past, family members have thought it was more of a vanity thing for me. And I'm like, now at this age where, now I have a child, I've gone through all the health stuff and I'm still taking care of myself, even though I've had I have autoimmune disease, kidney disease. Gosh, it's.
What else? The list goes on.
I mean, I have, arthritis, I have, sinus issue. I mean, it's always something, but I take days off when I need to, but I jump back on. I don't play the victim role. I don't play that I'm sick and I have this issue and I can't go to the gym. I'm like a.
Gosh, she's so much taller.
I know. I have a.
I wasn't going to say anything.
It's posture, I just know how to stand up straight.
And I'm sitting on a phone book too.
But yes, to me, so you have to just take care of yourself. And I think a lot of people struggle with holding on to weight as holding on to that victim, or I can't do this, so I'm going to hold on to that role as, I'm never going to be able to find a man because I'm not skinny like you. Or
there's an interesting article that we read at one point, and it was a statistic on the amount of weight that men and women gained after marriage, and the average. And I'll botch these, but the average happily married woman gained 35 pounds in the first 2 years after marriage. And the average unhappily married woman only gained 15. And when they started to interview these people, what they found is that more perceived happily married women said that they felt comfortable enough to gain that weight.
Yeah.
But then ultimately, when you looked at that on a long enough timeline, they ended up getting divorced.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting, Evan? You mentioned that brought up something very fascinating. I've thought of this over the last 3 years, reflecting on my divorce. About 2 years prior to us getting divorced, my ex got into a fitness competition. She started getting in the fitness realm and started working out. And as I started researching, that's what women and men start doing when they want a way out. They know that they're about to be single again. So I feel like there was 2 years. I think prior she knew, and she was maybe didn't know, but subconscious is like, I don't know if this is going to work out. Better get my shit together.
Oh, totally.
Right? Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense.
I can't tell you the number of guys that we've talked to, either through the podcast or just, in all the research for the show, but same thing. It's like they out of nowhere, they're like, and she just hit me with divorce papers. I'm like, and then you kind of do the backstory, like she started losing weight, started going to the gym, people start paying attention to her. You're like guys, it's real simple, right? Like work on your marriage, but work on yourself too. It's like,
Yeah.
if you're not showing up as a complete, confident human being, both men and women, your relationship's going to suffer. And yeah, it's probably subconscious. Like, I got to get my shit together. I got to start looking good because I'm going to be back out on the single
Why do
scene.
people do that? Why do they wait till they have a disease or somebody cheats on them or they're on their way that they decide to make themselves a priority to look better? I've never understood that concept. And I get it.
I don't understand how you get. I don't understand how you get to the point where you let yourself go that bad. There's got to be a point of no return. Like for me, if I ever get to around 235, I'm like, oh fuck, it's time for me to that's on that scale. When I'm 235, I'm like, okay, my mind does this, because to me that's my point of no return. And then I'm 220 in the next month, right back to where I need to be. I just don't understand how people's mental wiring is. I think people are just so depressed and sad, and they don't have any motivation. And not to say that that's an excuse. I think you got to get to a point where you're in that situation where you got to get pissed off. You've had enough. And there's no amount of motivational speakers or fad diets that can tell you, or people tell you to do it. You've got to fucking want it for yourself, and it's got to be a decision. The minute you're like that, then you can do anything.
That's perfectly said, because he just said the rage with the baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think the fact that we're all like athletes, like the fact that we grew up as athletes, and I think that plays a huge role in my success and all the stuff that I've accomplished. When you're an athlete, you don't have a choice to do a lot of things. Like you have to run the mile when the coach tells you to run. You have to do the extra reps if the team fails at something. And so do you think being an athlete helps, like telling our kids to play some type of physical sport will help contribute to them when they get older? Because I think as a parent, I tell my daughter, you have to do something physical, because I feel like me not having a lot of options when I had to play sports plays a huge role in knowing team, and it's not always about me. So I'm physical.
Yeah, I would imagine you're probably the same way, Aubrey, but like baseball saved me 1,000 times over, and I was the little hellion. So if it wasn't for sports, if it wasn't for the team, if it wasn't for the dedication and the motivation and just the desire to build a work ethic and be the best at something, I would have gone a completely different path in my life. And I think that sports say that, but it's also that mentality has to permeate beyond whatever sport you play, and whether you end up in high school or college or professional. It's like that is a mentality. It's like, I have to better myself. Mm-hmm. And we've become such a society that says like, screw it, whatever. I can be a little overweight, I can be this, but it's like, no, it's like dedication in everything, the desire, better relationships, better work ethic, better business.
Yeah, if you're a parent out there, I really highly suggest that you get your kids into a sport year round. Not a single sport year round, because I don't believe in travel sports, but play basketball in the winter, play baseball in the spring, play flag football, play all kinds of sports. Get into some kind of team orientated physical activity. Mm-hmm. Even though your kid will probably never make a Major League Baseball, never make the NFL, the odds are astronomical. It doesn't even fucking matter. Get them in a sport, because being an athlete, being in that clubhouse, over the years, you start learning these things, especially in baseball, because you fail 7 out of 10 times as a hitter, you're a success. So you learn through all this repetition of failure that you continue to fail, keep going, keep getting back up, keep going, keep grinding. And that teaches perseverance, dedication, grind, teamwork, all these things. That's why athletes, when they get out of baseball or football or whatever, they can go either one or two ways: complete depression, anxiety, or they can go into another realm of business and go right to the head of business, because they have these leadership abilities that were naturally in tune for all those years when they were in the locker room. So sports is absolutely essential for success in life. And if your kid doesn't play sports, I highly recommend you get them into it.
Yeah, I agree. My daughter she's tried every type of sport, and during this time it's been really hard to get her, but she's been doing like workout videos at home. I'm proud to say. I love watching her to pull up these YouTubes, and I don't force it at all. So everyone's listening, I never force my daughter to do anything, except I do make her, in the beginning, I made her go for walks, just because we were so stuck in the house and she needed to get like fresh air. And I'm like, come on, let's go take the dog for a walk. But she's doing these workout videos, and I don't take offense that it's not my workout videos, even though they're very similar. But she found, a girl on TikTok, and then she became, following her on YouTube, whatever works. I think it plays a huge role. And this is why it has nothing to do, again, with the vanity. It has to do with self-confidence. I say it all the time, is a superpower for sure. Once you feel confident in yourself, it plays a role into all types of relationships, your business. You just feel confident about yourself. And obviously your sex life too, because you're going to feel sexy. And the guys are attracted to that. They are attracted to confident women. And you don't have to do it for a guy. Do it for yourself. Be attracted to yourself.
It is masturbation month.
Doesn't stop.
I'll say this, since it's been holed up in this house, and I've been doing a lot of that, my man. Hey, nobody knows me like me. Nobody knows me like me.
Do for yourself.
You said do for yourself. I'm just helping people out.
You know what? If you have to do that, that's fine.
No.
Smack your own ass.
It's not if you have to. It's you should do that, right? Like people don't want to have sex with you if you don't want to have sex with yourself.
You have to be
And if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So
Exactly.
I feel like right now it's been 4 months. It's hold up in this house. I don't want my dick to fall off. I got to use it, damn thing, right? As you can see, I don't really give a shit. I'm going to say what's on my mind.
Awesome. Cool.
This is the new face of single parent daily, right? Because I think one of the issues that we found is in the past, we really tried to shine this positive light on parenting and that it's all wine and roses. And the reality is it's not, man. It sucks sometimes. It's like, and as you pointed out, it's like right now doing laundry and cooking and cleaning and trying to figure out how to do kindergarten math homework. I'm like, I can do quadratic equations in my head, but I don't know why 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 on my daughter's, kindergarten homework. It's like,
that's a great point. I think that, for me, growing up without a dad, I became a father myself. I wanted to be there all the time because I know what it was like not to have one. So I almost put too much pressure on myself to almost be involved in their lives too much, be around too much. And it was costing me my mental sanity. And so I've really realized over the last couple of years is, you know what, fuck it, man. They're at the age now where they can be very self-independent. I want them to be independent. I've backed off a lot. There'll be days where I'll just take 3 hours. I'll go up to my room and they're doing their own thing. And I don't feel guilty about that anymore. So parents out there, if you feel guilty about not being around your kids, don't, because it's just like that old adage they say when you're on the airplane, you can't save somebody else unless you put the oxygen mask on yourself first. And that's where I kind of made a huge transition as a parent 3 years ago, is really realizing, especially when I didn't have my wife to help out, being a single dad, you've got to make time for yourself. And if you don't, then you're going to be a fucking terrible parent. Because you're going to have all this pent up rage and you're going to pissed off and you're going to yell at your kids. If you go take that hour or 2 or 3 hours to yourself, man, you come back so much more refreshed and ready to take on whatever's coming at you, because it's going to come.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating being a single parent, but do you feel like you're a better parent now that you're single?
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because I feel like I let a lot of that stuff go to my ex, like whenever it was like the time to punish them or what have you, it was like, you got it, whatever,
Yeah.
And I've had to learn the hard way, the fine line of being a friend and a father, right? Like I want to buddy up with them and have a good time, but I got to remember also that I'm a father now. I can be their friend when they graduate high school, go off to college. I'll have a beer with them, right? We'll go party, right? But until that moment comes, I'm their father first right now. It doesn't mean we still can't have fun, but there still has to be discipline. And that's another thing in this world. People are scared to discipline their kids. Don't want to spank them. I got spanked all the time. And that's faux pas nowadays. It's ridiculous. I spank my kids all the time. They act up, they get whacked.
Yeah. Imagine a Latin household. I had like boomerangs of slippers coming around the corner, pots and pans.
Oh, my grandmother was like, she had a wooden spoon, and it was just like, and it was the one that she always cooked with too. So it was like, I'd get hit, but there'd be marinara sauce on it too. So it was just like,
do you eat marinara sauce now, or is that like a?
No, I love Italian food, right? Like,
He's like, I'm trauma. Marinara sauce.
No, I love it. But it was, But it was so here's something. You and I have I wouldn't say a similar background, but my parents divorced when I was 3, and this was in Colorado, and they had custody at that point. And so my dad lost custody. He had visitation. He didn't really like that, and so he kidnapped me and took me to Florida, where I was on the FBI's missing children's report for about 6 months. So the FBI finally finds me, brings me back, to Colorado. Haven't seen my biological father since. And so my mom remarried a guy, and a great guy. but he came from a real militant family, right? And it wasn't the same parenting. I don't want to say knowledge that we have now of how to really help raise kids to make better decisions, to be independent, to not be wankers. And so his was like, yeah, it's my way or the highway. And I'm the ultimate, like, I'm going to question everything. And so like his thing was like, he's like, all right, fine. I'll, you want like this paddle or this paddle? I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's, the choices that we have to make. So, but yeah, so, those early on events shape us. And then I think I remember always having that mentality is like, if I ever have kids, I'm going to do it the complete opposite. And then I found like, ultimately I ended up finding out like, I'll say things to my daughter and like, oh my God, I'm my parents. Like,
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog's
that was a
barking.
completely anticlimactic story.
No. We're like,
Back to the marinara sauce.
we like you getting whacked by marinara sauce. That sounds way better. But it's true that we pick up habits from what we saw because we thought that was the way to go, and we subconsciously do it. I've caught myself doing stuff like my parents, and I don't know if it's a good look.
Oh, look at the dog.
Check myself.
Yeah, this is my guy Thor. He's a Rhodesian Ridgeback. He's a badass.
Looks like a badass.
Yeah, he is. He's wanting to go take a walk right now. He haven't taken a walk all day. I got you, buddy.
All right. Well, we've what's our time? We're about out of time here. So, like, leave us with what are your top 2 tips for being a single parent, right?
Top 2.
Yeah.
Okay. No, for me, I think a lot of, especially as an ex-baseball player, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you're going to have them play pro ball one day. I'm like, I don't know if they want to, right? Like for me, I see so many parents out there that never got to live their dreams. So they're pushing their dreams on their kids. As a parent, you got to let your kids choose what they love or they're going to resent you. For me, it's all about, I don't think my kids know what they're 11 and 9. They don't know what they love yet. And that's okay. It all comes with time for every kid's different.
That's what they love.
Yeah. I love 6 years old. I knew I loved baseball. 6 years old. That's very early. By 9 years old, I was fucking obsessed. And my mom didn't have to push me to do baseball. I just did it. You'll know what your kids love when they just start doing it, and encourage that, nurture that, love on that. I don't care what it is. Like my oldest, there was about a year there where he loved rap. He was rapping. I'm not a rap fan. I fucking hate rap. But I would walk him down the street. We'd go to these little places where people are having beers outside. I had a little boom box, and I'd turn it on, and he would rap for him, and they'd clap and give him like little dollars, right? So I was encouraging him, even though I thought it sucked at times. But you gotta encourage what your kids love. Don't be a Hitler when it comes to making them. I think a lot of it's like school education, the pressure society's putting on parents to no fault of their own, to have their kids be super educated, 4.0 GPAs. Fuck it, man. I tell my kids, just pass. Do good in what you're good at, pass in what you're not. Be a 2.5 GPA student in college. I don't give a shit. Just be a well-rounded individual. Learn how to be social to people, because in the end of the day, the world we live in with the way technology is, when you get older, the ability for you to be able to look at somebody in the eye, shake their hand, and be social is going to far outweigh anybody's 4.0 GPA with no social skills. So I want my boys to be social. Yeah, 1000%. So that's really it.
Cool.
I love it. It was amazing to talk to you. You're an amazing father and a human. And I think it was a great conversation.
I love this. Yeah. Dude, would you come back on? Because this was way too much fun, and I don't think we covered half of what we wanted to.
I was literally thinking we've been on probably, about an hour now? There's about 17 more hours of shit I could throw out there. I got a mind. My mind never stops. And right now, there's nothing going on, brother. We're not going anywhere. When I don't have my kids, I'm pretty open, unless I'm doing my podcast.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Single Parent Daily with Aubrey Huff version 1.0. We'll be back with version 2, 3, 4, and 7.0 within the coming weeks. Aubrey, thank you so much for joining us, man. This was a pleasure.
Patty, Evan, great, man. Great to be on the show. Thanks.
Cool. Thanks, buddy. We'll see you soon.
All right, guys. Bye.